the Center for Coordination of Youth Activities was established in 1998, and it was done by former student leaders, who wanted to contribute to the long struggle of restoring stability and democracy to Sierra Leone. They had recognized the fact that there was lack of political and economic space for young people, and that has caused a long situation of exclusion and vulnerability around young people, causing them to get involved into the civil war that had started in the country in the 90s. And so you can imagine that because of the fact, the narrative about young people at that time, the issues about lumping young people, ghetto youths, that was all what, political talks, that was all what people knew about youth empowerment in Sierra Leone at that time. And so because of that, this set of young people led by a comrade brother of ours called Abdullahi Bonwai, and also a few others like John Lahai, Abdullahi Kolka, Mohamed Kone, Dixon Rogers, etc. Decided that there was a need for us to set up an organization that we develop a new trajectory, to rebranding the narrative about young people in the country. So that was basically how Ccya was formed. Mohamed Kone, one of the trustees and first, founders of the organization, had the opportunity of attending a UNESCO conference in Côte d'Ivoire. That was about youth and generational change engagement issues. So they had attracted UNESCO, and UNESCO was ready to put in the first set of resources to set up the organization by 1998. So between 1998 and 2000, there was a lot of consultations and engagements in setting up the organization, and that's how I got into the involvement of this process and I became the first program coordinator of the organization. I was a teacher. I had left university a couple of years before, and I was teaching in government secondary technical school. But my colleagues, senior comrade brothers who, had nurtured this idea, believed that they needed a much more younger person, somebody who was very active, youthful, and had the exuberance to move the process forward. So that was how I was nominated to head the process. And so over the years, we then transformed the organization into a much more strategic organization. So that was how the organization started moving. But then we were very clear about a core of values that we wanted to see. One of them was that we wanted to ensure that the organization speaks to gender equity, that it was not speaking to the old thinking about youth as just young men, but it wanted to ensure that it was also giving space to young women, to also show their own potentials and creativities. It was also about respect for rights. There was a lot of issues about right violation and abuses around young people, and as a result of that, it was important for us to ensure that we're addressing some of those issues.
I came in as a young female graduate from the university, Jala University, where I studied development studies, and I gained employment to Ccya 8 years ago, where I was attached in the programs department as a program support staff, and within those periods, I've been supporting the programs department, and I was promoted as agenda officer because of the work I do. I've been working in terms of advocating for young women's inclusion and participation in decision-making processes and in development processes. So I was promoted as a gender officer, and few years later, I became also a project officer to series of projects that the organization was implementing. I took up from a hardworking gentleman who we normally refer to as Commander or Guru, who has been very hardworking and dedicated to his work, and I've learned a lot from him as a mentor. So I believe that where he stopped or he left the organization, I'm here now to take the organization to a more higher height. That is one. And how can I do that? One is to work with my colleague in the organization, work as a team, as a family in promoting the work of the organization. I also want to see how best I'll be able to mobilize resources for the organization and also support that will go towards development in our country.
You know, one of the things that I enjoyed when I was executive director of the Center for Coordination of Youth Activities is the fact that I had built a very robust family relationship with staff and partners. I had also developed a comprehensive program and policy related processes that had brought a core of young people together to work for and with the organization, with passion and with profession. Everybody, there was constant 100% retention of staff. Every staff that came in, every volunteer that came in, every intern that came in wanted to stay with the organization because of the level of openness that was around the organization.
I am the head of admin and finance department, and I'm equally one of the longest serving staff of Center for Coordination of Youth Activities. Wow, it has been a challenging process. Over the years, we've gone through so many difficulties, and today as I'm seated here, I think we have passed all those difficulties, and we are proud of saying that Ccya is indeed a credible organization. It is well known and it speaks for young people.
That's why we're talking about 20 years today. The organization, settled itself to ensuring that it was consistently bringing out, those issues that are critical about young people, and it was helping them promote their creativities and potentials in a way that shows excellence. Then there was issues about partnership. There was issues about truth and transparency, quality service, capacity building, investing in people, especially young people. So over this period of time, the organization has seen those as critical values, and they have ensured that those issues have been in the center of their processes, which is one. The other part of it is that those founding members and comrade brothers of the organization, they had a very strong impression and commitment about and fortitudeness about moving the organization forward. So, in the course of the operationalization of the organization, they themselves will come, they will help write documents, they will help source funding for the organization, they will help do training. All these were pro bono, they were voluntary processes, because the organization didn't have that kind of resources. But after 2002, the organization then, because of the kind of level of enthusiasm that was amongst the members who were moving the organization started attracting funders. The first funding organization that the organization attracted was Open Society Initiative for West Africa, called Ccya. And Ccya had been a permanent partner to CCYA for a very long time. And then, of course, partnership then opened both locally and internationally. The United Nations family that was here, UNAMSIL, UNIPSIL, UNOMSIL, they all supported the organization, UNDP, and then other organizations opened up. Search for Common Ground became a much more stronger, cohesive partner to the organization. Then you had National Democratic Institute, you had Westminster Foundation for Democracy, you had Action Aid, you had a core of the other organization, USAID, British High Commission, etc. The fact was that the organization was strategic in looking at youth development issues from a right-based approach, but also looking at it as an opportunity, to change the situation, because at that time, the level of youth vulnerability was associated to security and peace issues, and so as a result of that, a lot was done. And that's how the partnership grew over the period of 2 decades that we're now celebrating today.
My name na Aisatu Dumbuya. I come from Bombali district. Me na a peace ambassador for CCYA.
We had a very cooperative and sound relationship with the National AIDS Secretariat and the Global Fund for the past almost 7 to 8 years. And with support from NAS and Global Fund, we are also able to attract other partners. For example, the Women's Commission for Women, Refugee Women and Children, who became known as the Women's Refugee Commission. For a very long period of time we worked with in the United States. And it was as a result of the relationship that we built with the Global Fund and HIV/AIDS. The other partner is called Taxvaki, the Operations Days Work, who we had worked with for now almost 4 years, and they are still developing partnership with CCYA even after I have left for another 3 years. And the core of the project was about giving voice to the youth of Sierra Leone. It was a project that really spoke to addressing community youth problems. Livelihood initiative programs. So it gave a huge support to rural young people to be able to undertake village and loan and savings, but also small businesses that will help change their lives in communities. And that is comprehensively engaged in about 4 districts in Sierra Leone, and it's working effectively even when the project is being reviewed again. But in that same project, there was another component that was also very impressive, and it's called Second Chance Education to Rural Girls. And the Second Chance Education to Rural Girls supported girls in rural communities who had dropped out of school as a result of teenage pregnancy, but also had very serious issues in terms of pervasive poverty, from their parents and their guardians who can't support them. And so those young girls were identified in those communities and supported, from 2 on to after Beke, and some of them are now in senior secondary school. In fact, some of them have completed. So those are very comprehensive package of programs that we supported. But then there was also the issue about policy engagement. So the project also supported policy reviews, the national policy, national development plan, and many other policies, especially policies that supported inclusive engagement of young people for second chance education. The other partner is being Search for Common Ground. Search for Common Ground has been a partner who had worked with Ccya since 2000. So we have all grown into the processes. We have not just been partners sharing grants, but we have also learned a lot from administrative and financial value addition processes. Teaching, training our staffs, giving them capacity, giving the organization the opportunity, to engage, both locally and internationally. But together, we have been able to get, a lot of programs from the European Union, for example, the State Department of the United States, looking at programs around women, peace and security issues. We've also had the opportunity of getting resources from National Democratic Institute, UNDP, and so the relationship between Ccya and SARS has transcended into a much more constructive, processes that have seen Ccya grow over the period of time. We've also had partnership with Action Aid. For the past 12 years, Action Aid has been a local partner to Ccya and has helped build Ccya's capacity. Giving grants to Ccya to undertake youth development processes in elections, in peace building processes, and as I speak to you currently, they have 2 serious grants, very extensive grants from the European Union. So over the period of time, there have been extensive engagement with these partners, and it's been based on principles, transparent engagement, openness, accountability, and also mutual respect, in terms of delivering around partnership. But we've also had partners, for example, like USAID, during elections. We've also had relationship with UNDP, who and the UN family, who have given resources to Ccya to administer to smaller organizations around elections, so that they could do sensitization and awareness raising processes. So consistently, this level of partnership have grown. But there's also a comprehensive partnership with the media and the Fourth Estate. The core of the media have efficiently worked with Ccya, both the print and the electronic media. So organized, for example, the Radio Democracy, Society for Radio Democracy 19.1 have been one of Ccya's core partners. But others like the Sierra Leone Broadcasting, Corporation. We have seen Star Radio and TV, AYV. But to name a few print medias in Freetown. But then, electronic medias, but print medias like Awoko, Standard Times, Global Times, Concord Times, etc. have also worked effectively. But then also, we have built those relationships also with community radios across the country.
I want to firstly I want to congratulate, the founding members for their initiative. Secondly, I want to equally congratulate our former executive director for his hard and vibrant moves in keeping this organization till this point. And again, I want to say to young people that with small amount of commitment, you will be able to do something for your country, for your community, and for the nation as a whole. So my final message is for you young people to just keep on doing the good work. In doing the good work, you will realize it. And that was how Ccya started. And today we are happy and we realized the essence of working.
Of course, I'm a mentor and a role model, I can say, to other young female. I've been an advocate and I'm still an advocate for women's empowerment, youth and women's empowerment. So I will encourage my female folks to also do the same, in as much as they admire in me, to be one, very hardworking and be dedicated in whatever they are doing in terms of their work. Wherever they find themselves, let them take work seriously and also try to see how best they will be able to empower themselves and become a leader like me, because what I want to see is to have more women in leadership position like myself.